This is Christine Hausman, and I'm here from University of Kentucky, the Human Development Institute, to share some information about celebrating milestones of infants, toddlers, and preschoolers. So at the University of Kentucky, I work for Child Care Aware, and part of our mission is to support families looking for high quality childcare. And we also do a lot of professional development and work on some different grants relating to supporting families as well as identifying children as early as possible that may be experiencing any developmental delays. So I would love to know a little bit more about you. If you don't mind typing in the chat what hat you wear, what brought you to this session today? Are you a parent? Are you a grandparent? Are you an educator? Are you a community member or a relative that has an infant, toddler, or preschooler in your life? We all are in contact with little ones, but what hat do you wear? And is there a specific topic that you were hoping to learn about today? So if you can just feel, for those of you that are online with me live, feel free to put those, answer those questions in the chat. So looks like we do have some parents of young children, so that is great. But I'll tell you what, grandparents love these resources that I'm about to share. And anyone who cares about little ones, these are great, great resources to share. So thanks for being here. All right, I am hoping that this video will play. This is one of the primary resources that I wanted to share with you today. It is the Vroom app. I'm not sure if you're familiar with this. It is vroom.org, not vroom.com. That delivers cars to your house, but we want brain building activities delivered to your phone. So I'm just going to share this with you. It's just a 2-minute clip.
I'm really rushing all the time. I don't have enough time just to sit down with them.
Being a full-time mom and having a full-time job, it's not easy. I always worry, am I doing enough with my kids? Am I doing the important stuff that they need?
Can't imagine what is in here. Feels really powerful. You guys.
You already have all it takes.
Maybe I just didn't look at it that way because I always want better.
You put your feet in them? No. No? I know that I can do it.
Which one is rough?
This one.
It's amazing the little things that we do, we don't even realize we're teaching our kids. Yay, good job.
You don't really think of brain development at that young of an age, you know, when you're 3 months old.
All right, so you do already have what it takes. And the fact that you are spending your lunchtime here with us today and wanting to learn more resources and learn more parenting tips and reach out to your friends, here, your colleagues, to learn and grow with each other is the best. I think relying on your support networks really makes a difference, especially in this time of COVID. You know, so many of us have not kind of had the same types of experiences that we had envisioned when we were giving birth, maybe during COVID, or parenting those early years during COVID, because you haven't been able to share and have those same kind of face-to-face peer support groups. So tools such as vroom.org. It is an app. It was created by the Bezos Foundation, and it is based in science, and it gives families and caregivers scientifically based tips. These tips come in the form of a text, and they are based on your children's age. It goes up from birth to age 5. It is available in 17 different languages. It is really, really a wonderful resource. So please share this. It's used all around the world, and it really gives you little tips to use in different areas of your life. So you don't have to like say, okay, I'm going to teach my child for this 30 minutes today. It is just really easy ways of embedding learning experiences throughout your day, whether you're changing a diaper, whether you're cooking, whether you're talking about big feelings in toddlerhood, whether you're going for a walk outside, and just being really intentional about sparking dialogue and seeing what your child is interested in and doing that serve and return. So seeing what they're serving you, what are they pointing at, what are they looking at, and then what are they commenting on, and then you just kind of extend that learning. So it gives you just real concrete, fun tips in lots of different areas. So it gives you these prompts. And it really helps. It gives you the language to talk to children, because some of us have formal training in early childhood and some of us don't. So these are, it's just spelled out for you nice and clearly. You can download lots of information from vroom.org as well. Thank you for putting some of these links that I'm going to talk about in the chat. So if you want to check out the vroom.org website, feel free to do that, while I'm talking here. The next resource that I wanted to share with you today was about, all right, I don't know why it's, well, I may have goofed here. Let's see if it goes. All right. So this is Milestones Matters. This is Learn the Signs, Act Early from the CDC.
It's our first child, and we didn't know what to expect being first-time parents. And it's just been such a fun experience to watch her grow. Starting out very early, we monitored development using the Learn the Signs, Act Early checklist. It was just an amazing resource to be able to say, okay, this is what you should be doing at this age. And it calmed our fears a little bit.
I would have to say my favorite resource of the Learn the Signs, Act Early would be the app. But having that readily available has honestly been great. And it's been awesome seeing her development and growth. The Learn the Signs, Act Early app is actually very easy to use. I can access it right there on my phone. And whenever my mind kind of pops to it, I can open it up.
I think I am a Learn the Signs, Act Early super user. The Learn the Signs, Act Early materials have been invaluable to me because I feel like they've been there with me throughout parenthood in kind of the way that a wise old friend might be. Using Learn the Signs, Act Early has helped me monitor my daughter's development and gives me a great peace of mind that the information is accurate and it's backed by science. It's fun to see when she achieves a milestone. I feel very proud for her and excited.
And it's not just a milestone of, is my child doing this next thing? It's what should I be working with my child next? Because that can be a big question mark as a first-time parent.
I want to know if maybe she's lagging farther behind than she really should. And that's something to bring up with our pediatrician.
Having something at my fingertips to kind of go through it with our physician. She's hitting these milestones, but not these other milestones. Should I be concerned? What kinds of things can I do to bring her up to speed? And then taking that and translating it with her teachers in her classroom to make sure these are the things I would like to focus on, and how can we work together to make sure that she's developing appropriately.
The Learn the Signs Act Early resources empower parents to take a stake in tracking their child's developmental milestones.
All right, so you will have all of these resources available to you. We will provide the links and we will provide a follow-up email with all of the information. So Learn the Signs Act Early is a public campaign that the CDC had rolled out, goodness, close to 15 years ago now. And it was originally rolled out to help identify children that might be experiencing some behaviors that might be indicative of autism. However, they soon found out that we want to identify any child that's having any sort of developmental delay or and I should say, and help families understand developmental milestones and what a child should be doing at a given age, and being able to anticipate and work towards the behaviors that are coming just a little bit down the pike. So there are 3 types of tools that these developmental trackers that are available from the CDC for free. So the first one are these developmental milestone checklists. So they have all of these checklists of different developmental milestones, which a milestone is a behavior that the majority of children, like 75% of children, do at a specified age. And so we start at 2 months, we have 2 months, 4 months, 6 months, all the way up to 5 years at the different age levels that correspond with well checks with your physician. So this is a really good tool to fill out prior to going to a well check and making sure that you are kind of aware of what a child is doing across the different developmental domains. So those are different areas of development like social emotional or cognitive or gross motor, those types of things. So in each of these developmental checklists, you can print these off if you want to. They're available in a number of languages, not as many as Room, but quite a few. And they're readily available on the website. So you can work on these, completing this checklist before you go to a well check. There is also another type of tracker that we call our Milestone Moments booklet. And I must tell you, today, we are rolling out the brand new version of that. So we have a new Milestone Moments booklet, and it is a little bit different. It has the 15-month developmental milestone level and the 30-month milestone level. So that is a primary difference. And there are some additional features. I got my hands on it just this morning and was looking. And so there is a developmental tracker, like a chart in here. There in the back of this booklet, there's room for you to write questions, to speak to your doctor. And this booklet is really handy because it's a nice size and it would fit into a backpack or a diaper bag. There's still room to write notes. So you would be able to, your child said their first word, or you have a question, like somebody asked the question about, I'm not quite sure about what to feed my child at this age. So whatever questions you have, you can just kind of keep that in your diaper bag and jot those notes and have a centralized place to do that. In these Milestone Moments booklets, it gives you not only the milestones, but fun things to do with a child at that particular age, because some families might not know exactly what they should be doing with a child at a given age. So here's just a little bit more information about those booklets. I think I covered some of those talking points. And then we have the Milestone Tracker app. So if you would like to download that app, I'm hoping you should be able to point your phone at that QR code and be able to access the Milestone Tracker app. Again, this is through the CDC. It has all the same information as these previous 2 tools with some added additional features. This app is available there. It's free. It's available in English and in Spanish. And I'm going to leave this slide up just in case you're able to snap a photo and download that app. But you can put multiple children in the app. The app also corrects for prematurity. If you have a child that was born early for any reason, it would correct for prematurity. You can upload pictures of your child into the app to kind of personalize it. In the Milestone Tracker app, you can also download a report to share with a childcare provider, to share with a teacher, a therapist, a physician, any folks that are in your sphere of helper people in your child's life. You could share that report with them and say, oh, are you seeing any of these behaviors at school? Or can you help me make sure that I'm not missing out on any of these important milestones, or give me more information about what my child is doing when they spend time with you. And childcare providers should be aware of these. That's part of my job with Childcare Aware, is making sure that families, oh, Jessica, thanks for letting me know that the QR code worked. It's the first time I've put it in this presentation, so that's great. So we want as many people using this app and using this information. This app just celebrated a big milestone of itself, and it has been downloaded 1 million times as of a couple of weeks ago. So that's tremendously exciting. And I think the more eyeballs you have on your child, the more noticers we say in childcare, the better it will be for your child. We want to celebrate those milestones, but we also want to be aware that if there is any sort of delay, that we know the steps to take and what to do, who to talk to make sure that the child wouldn't benefit from additional supports or services. So here is just kind of some screenshots of what that app, the Milestone Tracker app, looks like. And on the photo on the right, you'll see there are even short little video clips or photos on the app. So if we're asking a question and you're like, I'm not sure what that means, or I'm not sure that my child is doing that, you would be able to watch a little video clip. And you see that the answers that you need to give the app is, yes, my child's doing that. Not sure, because you may not have even ever paid attention to that particular milestone, or for sure they're definitely not doing that yet. And as a parent or a caregiver, if you click on a not sure or a not yet, you're going to get a push notification that will alert you and come back, a week or two later and say, oh, this little guy is Jaden. How's Jaden doing on such and such a milestone? So the app kind of stays with you and gives you little reminders, which I love. It gives you the activities to do with the child for something fun to do. And then it will allow you to download a report to share with other folks. And it does alert you when you should act early. And what we mean by learning the signs of child development and acting early would be to reach out to your child's physician, or to reach out to other organizations that are able to help you evaluate your child. And if your child is, I'm just going to scoot ahead a couple of slides here. So first, speak with your physician, or if your child is under 3, there is an organization in Kentucky called First Steps, and they provide early intervention. So they would, if you called this number, it would direct you to like a local agency within your community that provides the early intervention services. And so you would have your child evaluated, and if they qualified for services, you could decide whether or not you wanted to accept those services. So those are for children under 3, but for children over 3, if you felt as though your child needed to further evaluation, you would call the local school system because they provide those services. Or if you prefer to go through like a private speech therapist or whatever through your insurance, that's always available as well. Some families choose to go that route, but acting early is extremely important. So you know that the brain is like learning and growing, making all of those connections so rapidly in those first few years that we really want to capitalize on getting those services and supports, and getting that intervention as early as possible so that your child can get, be the best that they can be. And maybe they will still require services once they, get to that kindergarten age, or maybe they will have gotten what they need prior to that. Do we know of alternatives to first steps for a child who did not qualify? So first steps can probably provide some alternatives. I think honestly, doing things like play groups and social opportunities for children. But again, given that it's COVID, that's a little bit problematic. Sometimes the school systems have different events. I know here in Lexington, there are all kinds of great events through some Head Start programs, and you don't even have to be receiving Head Start services in order to participate in some of their community-wide events. Public libraries do lots of great things, and they do some tracking and screening of children. Help Me Grow is another agency that serves young children and provides some supports and good information for you. For families that are have a very, very new little one or are even expecting, there's an organization called HANDS, and HANDS is a home visiting, although they provide virtual services, as does First Steps right now. You can choose whether or not, if your child qualifies, you can choose to have home-based services or virtual services. That's a parent's choice. But so there are definitely some options. If you want to reach out to me, I can brainstorm a little bit more with you for kind of support services that may be available for those kids that are kind of in that gray area. But definitely keep following up and making sure that you're monitoring those milestones closely. If you go to the Learn the Signs Act Early website, there are lots of resources and lots of information and free books. So if I go back a couple of slides, I did want to let you know that these books are available free for families. You can even order up to 20, a bundle of 20 of these books for free, and they'll be mailed to your house. They're available in English and Spanish, and they're storybooks, but they also have the developmental milestone reminders woven in for caregivers. So if you wanted to order those, you can go to this link, and it's also in the chat. So you can get free books. I know we're getting close on time here, but I did want to share a couple of other resources as far as free training, just in case any of these are really interesting to you. So next week, we are running this particular session on primarily for our families and friends out in Western Kentucky, but we know a lot of people are going through experiencing anxiety with children, and children are having fear with everything we've experienced with COVID and the tornadoes. So we have a guest speaker coming in, and this is a 1-hour session. It starts 1:30 Central Time or 2:30 in Eastern Time, and you can sign up with that link there. And then we also at HDI, we offer sign language classes for families, child providers. A lot of children's librarians like to take these courses, and those are $5 each. But for today, if you would, there's only 11 of us on here today. So for those of you who attended, if you would like to sign up for an infant class, a toddler class, or a preschool class, you reach out to me. My contact information will be on a coming slide, and I will send you a free promo code, and you can share that promo code, and you can take a class of your choosing, whether it's infant, toddler, or preschooler, but using sign language to help support a child with communication is a phenomenal step, even for children that don't have any sort of hearing impairment at all. So I wasn't sure how many people were going to be on the course, but feel free to put in the chat if you just put your email and what level course you would like, the infant, toddler, or preschooler. I will make sure that I send that information to you. So your email and which level age you think you would most enjoy. So here are just a couple of links for you to just stay connected. If you're interested in knowing more about Childcare Aware, we have lots of great resources that we post on Facebook that are related to early childhood and parenting, and just really great resources and new information, and product recalls and just all kinds of good stuff. So feel free to look us up on Facebook as CC Aware KY. And then the Milestone Matters, Learn the Signs Act Early, also has a community, and that provides all kinds of information about developmental milestones. So that might be another group for you to look up if you are on Facebook. And there's just a few other links there. Thanks. Diane and Jessica, I will make sure that I get that out to you. And then I'll just leave up this slide that has my contact information. And thank you for your attention today.
Do you guys have any questions? We'll go ahead and record maybe a couple of the questions if you don't mind. If you don't want it recorded, that's fine. We will stop recording. Is anyone interested in unmuting themselves and asking a question that you may have? All right, so Megan.
Like Megan, yeah.
Yes, Megan, go ahead.
Yeah, so I have a daughter who's about to turn 2. So she's lived her entire life during COVID. And she's been home with my husband, who was her primary caregiver the whole time. And I wasn't worried when she was a baby, because babies don't need a lot of social interaction. But I'm wondering now that she's a toddler about if there are different social milestones that I should be concerned about her missing, because she hasn't had a lot of interaction with other children.
Yeah, I think that with the socialization, and this is just the life that we're living. So every other parent of a 2-year-old is probably in, I mean, even though she's an only child, I mean, a lot of us are living kind of isolated. So most of what 2-year-olds are doing, they're doing just a lot of imitating what they're seeing in life, and a lot of kind of role playing and playing. So I think that, now, like, we have our Zoom meetings and things like that, but any interactions that you can get for her, for your child to play and see other children, even some screen time. We don't like to promote a lot of screen time for children, but in limited amounts, and even just like, maybe playing outside with neighbors where you have fresh air and you can kind of socially distance, but as much of that, kind of watching what other kids do and copying what other kids do and copying what parents do, and just being playful and being socially connected as best that you can do. I know some people are still doing church, and some people are having some interactions with families. So I think everybody kind of has their own comfort level there, but we've all had to get a little creative with that. But kids are resilient. kids will get caught up. I know I've heard parents worry about, like, even childcare providers have to have their faces covered up when they're at childcare, and kind of missing out on how your lips move and the language and the sounds that are made and those types of things. So, at home, there's a little bit more of an opportunity to do those types of things. But yes, I'm glad you're being intentional about that, but we're a little bit limited in what we can do.
Thanks.
Are there any other questions?